Good morning. So, walking is an exercise that is probably the best exercise that anyone can do. Now, and I say best, I don't mean necessarily in terms of how much it can change your body. It's just arguably the most accessible exercise there is. And when you think about it comprehensively, it's just good overall. Like walking increases your energy burn. It gets your blood flowing. It helps to maintain your cardiovascular health and fitness. It does provide some level of strengthening to the legs, or at least it maintains leg strength. It helps you to maintain mobility and independence because walking is like one of the fundamental movements for a human. And it's one of those things that, especially as you get older, if you stop walking, then you start to lose mobility, you start to lose some of that independence. You might even get to the point where you have to use like assistance to walk, or sometimes people lose the ability to walk altogether. So developing a habit of walking, whether that be walking to the store or through the store or for exercise, it's a good idea because it helps to maintain an activity that all of us should be able to do very well and should be able to continue to do very well as we age. Now, I wanted to record this quick video just to talk about how you can make walking more effective, because I see a lot of people, that's your main method of exercise. And that's great. That's great. But the question you want to ask yourself is, how can you make it more effective? In particular, if you're wanting to lose weight, because a lot of times when people embark on like a weight loss um uh you know goal, then they begin walking for exercise. And again, that's really good. But the question is, how can you make it more effective for exercise? Because sometimes people start walking, they're like, well, I mean, I saw a little bit of difference, but I didn't really see anything to speak of. I only lost a couple of pounds, and then it just was like whatever. And then, their thoughts of like, well, maybe I need to pump my arms more, or wear like a one of those sauna suits, or different things like that. And no, it's not necessarily all that. Now I won't even get into the sauna suits. I'm not necessarily a big fan of stuff like that. Um, but let me give you some suggestions on how you might make walking more effective for weight loss. First thing is, you might need to walk longer. Okay. So, and when I talk about longer, I'm talking about at least 30 minutes at a time, but really more than that, way more than that. You might want to start aiming for an hour or more. And when I talk about that, it can be split up. I say, no less than 10 minutes at a time, but try to get an hour through the day. Think about it this way. The further back in history you go, the more humans used to do stuff on their own 2 feet. We didn't have automobiles. Only certain people were able to afford carriages, or just animals to ride on and stuff like that. So what we kind of understand as far as like moving around and whatnot was very different even a couple of 100 years ago. So you want to understand, like, we really are designed to like be walking around everywhere. So you kind of want to get closer to something like that. So if you can get at least an hour of walking a day, or and start to move toward it. Because again, I don't want you to underestimate, especially if weight loss is your goal. Don't underestimate the likelihood that you need to do more than you're doing. If you're doing 10, 15 minutes, that's good. It's going to get your blood flowing. It's going to help you to kind of maintain some level of cardiovascular, um, cardiorespiratory fitness, but you're not going to lose weight off of that. The American College of Sports Medicine recommends that you do at least 150 minutes of exercise a week. So it's 30 minutes 5 times a week to maintain wherever your body is. But to lose weight, they say 50 or 60 minutes 5 days a week. So that's 250 to 300 minutes of exercise um, every week. Okay, so that's to begin to lose weight. That's their recommendation. So just think about the fact that they recommend that, and don't be scared to walk more. In other words, second thing is add resistance. Now, this will help a little bit more with caloric burn and whatnot, But the main reason I say this is because it's a good idea to add some level of resistance to stimulate your muscles a little bit more. Because one thing that's good is not just to maintain your strength, but to increase your strength. It becomes important, especially as you get older, when there's a higher likelihood that you'll lose muscle with age, especially when you don't challenge your muscles that much. Now, if you just walk, that's fine. But consider walking in hilly areas and stuff like that, or walking somewhere where there's like a staircase or a hill where you can kind of walk up the hill and then come down. On the track I go to, they have a hill and they have stairs there, so you have a track and then you can walk up the hill and come down. Something like that just kind of give you a little extra challenge because you want to stimulate your muscles to actually strengthen, to grow. Very important with age for all of us. And then you can also wear weights, like you can do ankle weights, which you have to be careful with those, especially when it comes to running, but walking shouldn't be a big problem. Or you can wear a weight vest, or you can wear a book bag that has some weights in it or something like that. But again, this is to induce, like, make it a strengthening um type of deal, because even think about this too, when you train your muscles specifically, when you put them under resistance and you train them to grow, remember that muscle is very metabolically active, so muscle just being present in your body increases your metabolism, okay, and it helps you to be more sensitive to your insulin, which means, in other words, less insulin resistance, less of a likelihood of developing, like, you know, type 2 diabetes and all that kind of stuff. Lastly, and most importantly, if you want to make your walking more effective for weight loss, you got to clean up your diet. You can be walking years and years and decades. Sorry about that. You be walking years and years for decades and never see any sort of weight results because you're still eating too much, or you're eating the wrong kinds of foods. If you're one who drinks sweet drinks all day, even if you went for the juice, I have to keep on saying that, or you're eating processed foods, even if it's like 100-calorie packs and stuff that says gluten free or whatever, you got to clean up your diet or you're not going to see results. You're going to have to switch to whole foods. I'm talking about stuff that don't come in a package, stuff that was not made by us. You need to generally consider lowering your sugars and your starches. And so that's even with healthier foods. Now, you don't have to worry about it as much if you're doing whole foods, like foods that are kind of more close to their natural state. But even still, if you're not seeing the results you want, that means you might want to switch from doing a lot of potatoes to doing like more like less starchy foods, and eating fruit, but not eating too much fruit, just kind of more so leaning into like leafy green vegetables and vegetables that are like just low in starch. Stop eating late. Don't eat, once it gets dark, you want to kind of like not be too concerned about eating um around that time. Maybe just drink some water or something like that. And incorporate fasting into your lifestyle. So every now and then, what you want to do is you want to go without eating, just drink some water. Make sure, of course, especially if you haven't done fast in a while, or you're somebody who deals with like type 2 diabetes, or you're pregnant or something like that, you want to be careful with fasting. You want to talk to like a medical professional before you do that. But the reason why I talk about fasting in particular is because fasting, fasting for one, it breaks your cravings and whatnot. It helps you to be more in control of yourself. But it also helps to enhance your fat burning, because literally we tend to provide our bodies with so many carbohydrates that they never have a reason to go into our fat. And so when you fast, at a certain point, your body begins to tap into its own fat storage. Okay. And so you're able to tap into that fat to have fuel to survive off of. Okay. So these are ways, walking, longer, 30 minutes is a bare minimum, but you want to aim for about an hour a day. Add hills and weights and other resistance. and clean up your diet, most importantly. These are ways that you can make your walking more effective. So you're not walking for years and years and never seeing results. Because what fun is that? I mean, it's great to get outside and everything. Walking is great to clear your mind. But like if you're walking specifically because you want to lose weight and you're not seeing weight loss, what fun is that, right? All right, y'all. If you like this content, you might also be interested in one of my books. Learn how you can take steps literally today to successfully manage, control, and overcome common issues such as high blood pressure, diabetes, and belly fat. It's all about putting power back in your hands to improve your own health. Get your book copy today by the links in the description or by visiting seanmcclennan.com/books. Also, don't forget, hit the like button and subscribe and join my email list at seanmcclennan.com/subscribe.